Let's talk about heart disease, specifically a kind of risk you can't just diet or exercise away, because what if you inherited it? Today, we're diving into familial arteriosclerosis and the hidden threat your genes might pose to your heart. We're always told that heart disease is about lifestyle choices, eat better, move more. But what if one of the biggest risk factors was literally written into your genetic code from the moment you were born? So is it just bad luck, or could it actually be in your DNA? That's the big question we're digging into. All right, so the main villain of our story today is this condition called atherosclerosis. The easiest way to think about it is like a slow, sneaky clog in your body's plumbing. This stuff called plaque, which is a really nasty mix of cholesterol, fat, and other gunk, it just builds up, hardens, and narrows your arteries. And that is the root cause of most heart attacks and strokes. So what's causing this plaque buildup? Well, of course, diet and exercise matter. They absolutely do. But here's the kicker. When you control for all those other factors, your family's health story, your history, that stands out as the single biggest genetic predictor for whether you'll develop atherosclerosis. Okay, so where is this genetic risk actually coming from? Well, let's meet the main culprit. It's a condition called Familial Hypercholesterolemia, or just FH for short. This is by far one of the most common and best understood genetic drivers of heart disease out there. Now, it's really important to get this straight. FH isn't high cholesterol because you ate too much junk food. Nope. It's a genetic disorder you are born with. Basically, a faulty gene breaks your body's system for clearing out the bad cholesterol. That's the LDL. So from day one, from infancy, LDL levels are just dangerously high, silently building up and doing damage to the arteries. So FH isn't just one thing. It really comes in two main flavors. If you get one faulty gene from one parent, you have what's called heterozygous FH, or HeFH, and this is surprisingly common. But if you get a faulty gene from both parents, you have homozygous FH, or HoFH. That version is extremely rare, thank goodness, and it's much, much more severe, often causing heart disease in little kids. Let's just pause for a second on how common that first type is. Scientists figure it affects somewhere between 1 in 200 and 1 in 500 people. So if we just kind of average that out to 1 in 250, think about that. In a big movie theater, in your office building, there are almost certainly a few people walking around with this condition, and the vast majority of them have absolutely no idea. And that right there is why not knowing is so dangerous. If FH isn't caught and isn't treated, it can increase a person's risk for coronary artery disease by about 20 times. I mean, that is a staggering number. It basically turns a what if into a when without any intervention. So to really get what's going wrong, let's look at how your body is supposed to work. Your cells have these amazing little things on their surface called LDL receptors. The best way to picture them is like tiny docking stations. As bad cholesterol, the LDL, floats by in your blood, these receptors literally grab it, pull it inside the cell where it can be used, and then they pop right back out to the surface, ready to catch more. It's this beautiful, super efficient recycling system. But with FH, that whole elegant system is just broken. The genetic mutation means a person has way fewer of these docking stations, or the ones they do have don't work right, so the bad cholesterol has nowhere to go. It just gets left behind in the bloodstream, causing this massive biological traffic jam that builds up as plaque in your arteries. Now, while FH is definitely the star of this unfortunate show, it doesn't always act alone. Turns out your genes can pass down a whole team of other conditions that work together to make the risk of atherosclerosis even worse. Let's call them FH's co-conspirators. Okay, first up, high blood pressure or hypertension. Over time, that constant pressure damages your artery walls, making it way easier for plaque to stick. And what's wild is that about half, up to 50% of what determines your blood pressure comes down to your genes. It's literally a 50-50 split between your DNA and your environment. Next in the lineup is type 2 diabetes, which also has a super strong family link. If just one of your parents has it, your lifetime risk goes up by about 40%. But get this, if both of your parents have it, your risk can shoot up to an incredible 70%. And rounding out this group of troublemakers is obesity. Now, it's a really complex issue, but we know for a fact that genes play a huge part. Just having a family history of it can make you 2 to 8 times more likely to struggle with obesity yourself, which then, of course, raises your risk for all these other heart problems we've been talking about. So, I know hearing all of this might feel a little bleak, right? If it's all in our genes, what can we even do? But that is absolutely the wrong way to think about it. Because knowing your genetic risk, that is the most powerful first step you can possibly take to seize control of your health. Okay, so what if you're listening to this and thinking, this sounds a little too familiar? What can you actually do? Well, the good news is a lot. This is not a genetic life sentence. Think of it more like a genetic heads up. It's a call to action. The first thing is just knowing what to look for. And believe it or not, the clues are often hiding in plain sight. We're talking about things like a family history of heart attacks at a young age, or a blood test that shows sky-high cholesterol. Sometimes there are even physical signs, like these little cholesterol bumps you can get on your tendons. Just knowing these clues exist is half the battle. And once it's identified, the plan of attack is really a powerful 1-2 punch. On one hand, you have lifestyle, a heart-healthy diet, staying active. Those are the foundation. They're totally non-negotiable. But for a genetic condition like FH, lifestyle alone is almost never enough. And that's where the medical treatments come in, things like statins and other incredible new therapies that can directly fix that broken cholesterol system and bring those LDL numbers way, way down. And really, if you take away only one thing today, let it be this. With an early diagnosis and the right treatment, people with these genetic conditions can totally neutralize that inherited risk. They can live a full, healthy, normal life. Knowledge, followed by action, can completely rewrite their story. And the experts couldn't be clearer on this. It really all boils down to one simple idea. It's not about being scared of your family tree. It's about studying it, understanding the patterns within it, and then using that knowledge to get ahead of the problem. That's how you protect yourself and the people you love. Look, at the end of the day, you can't change the genes you were dealt. That's just a fact. But what you can do with this knowledge is change your future. So the real question I want to leave you with is, do you know your family's heart story? If not, maybe it's time to start asking.